So today we're going to talk about the Backdoor Roth IRA and pitfalls to avoid to make sure that you do it correctly. The most important thing to understand about the Backdoor Roth IRA is what is the purpose for its existence and why, what's it all about. Before we go into that, we need to first talk about Roth IRAs and what's so attractive and why you should care about this in the first place. So what's important to understand is how a Roth IRA works and the benefits behind that. So number one, the most important thing to understand about a Roth IRA is that the growth, the earnings on a Roth IRA are income tax-free, federally income tax-free. So if I was to contribute $6,500 to a Roth IRA for myself or for my child or for my spouse, for example, and that $6,500 was to turn into $10,000, that $3,500 of profit that my investment made would be tax-free, federally income tax-free. It doesn't matter how the money is invested. So whether I'm investing that money in a certificate of deposit that's paying 5% interest, or whether I'm investing that money in Tesla stock or the S&P 500, regardless of however that money is invested, the earnings on that money will be federally income tax-free. Now, there are some stipulations and requirements as far as what age I have to wait to until I draw the money out, etc. But the main thing to understand is that assuming we follow the rules and we play by the IRS's rules, the profit will be income tax-free if we make Roth IRA contributions. The one problem and the one thing that we have to be careful of is that Roth IRA accounts, because they are so cool and so desirable, the IRS has put income limitations on those Roth IRA accounts. Under current IRS rules, in the year 2023, for single tax filers, if you make more than $153,000 per year, or if you're married and you have more than $228,000 of income, the IRS simply says that you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. And as a matter of fact, if you do put money into a Roth IRA directly and you are over that income threshold, the IRS will know about it. They'll make you take that money out, and you'll also have to pay them interest and penalties on any profit that was made on that money that you incorrectly contributed to that Roth IRA account. So as you can see, it's a pretty important thing to make sure that that if you are over that income limit, that you don't accidentally or mistakenly contribute money to a Roth IRA. So what is a person supposed to do if you make more than that income threshold and you still want to contribute to a Roth IRA or a Roth account of some sort? One option is to contribute to a Roth IRA via what's known as the Backdoor Roth IRA. Additionally, and this is a little bit of a different subject, if you have an employer plan through work, you may very well be able to contribute to a 401k or 403b or 457 plan in a Roth fashion as well. And that's something that you'll just need to talk to your HR department at work or employer at work. The main thing to understand about the 401k plan that's nice is that you can contribute more to those. And in addition to that, you also, there is no income limit on that. So that's one way to contribute to Roth money. But if you don't have, or maybe you're already maxing out your 401k plan at work, and you're still wondering, hey, how can I contribute to a Roth IRA? I've heard about this Backdoor Roth IRA. What is that? How do I do it? Well, let's talk about that. The number one thing to understand is logistically, how does it happen if I do a Backdoor Roth IRA? So the way to functionally do this is we would set up what's called a traditional IRA, okay, in addition to a Roth IRA. So you would have two totally separate accounts, okay? You would contribute $6,500 or whatever the annual maximum amount is for you. $6,500 is the limit if you're under the age of 50, and $7,500 is the limit if you are over the age of 50. So you would contribute that maximum, or you wouldn't have to contribute up to the maximum, but you could contribute up to that maximum amount of money directly into the traditional IRA account, okay? And then that day, or as soon as humanly possible after that, you would convert the money from the traditional IRA into the Roth IRA account. So rather than putting the money directly into the Roth IRA, we put the money into the traditional IRA and then we convert it to the Roth IRA. Thus, that's where the term backdoor Roth IRA comes from. Now, there's a few things that are really important to understand about this that we have to be careful of. Okay, one is that if the only way that this works, the only way that this backdoor loophole, if you will, works, is if you do not have any other existing pre-tax traditional IRA money, pre-tax SEP IRA money, or pre-tax simple IRA money. Okay, so that's very, very important to understand. Now, one thing that is also a good thing to understand is that if you happen to have pre-tax money that's in an IRA account, but it is an inherited IRA account, then that does not impact you negatively. So it's only if you personally, in your name, if you have any pre-tax IRA, pre-tax traditional, SEP IRA or simple IRA money, that's going to cause a conflict with your ability to do the backdoor Roth IRAs. And the reason is that there's a pro rata rule that the IRS implements that makes it challenging. So as an example, just for simplicity's purposes, let's say that I had an existing traditional IRA account from an old employer 401k plan that got rolled over into an IRA account at Fidelity. And so I've got this $5,000 that's sitting in a Fidelity IRA account that I've never paid income taxes on before, because that money is from an old 401k plan before I knew what I was doing. And then I say, okay, now I'm going to set up a new traditional IRA because I want to do the backdoor Roth IRA. Okay, and so I set up it could even be at a totally different custodian. I set up a new traditional IRA account at Charles Schwab, and I put $5,000 in it. I'm using $5,000 as an example because it's easy math. So I put $5,000 into the new traditional IRA, and I convert it to the Roth IRA, and there's my backdoor Roth IRA, right? The problem is that what will happen is the IRS doesn't look at those, even though they're in two separate accounts. They don't look at that like two siloed accounts. They look at it like you have a total of $10,000 in an IRA account, and half of it is pre-tax and half of it is after-tax. And so then when you try to do that $5,000 conversion, they're going to try to make you pay income taxes on half of it, because they're going to say that half of your IRA account was pre-tax money. And that ultimately what that ends up doing is it essentially defeats the purpose of doing the backdoor Roth IRA. Now, there is a way around this, okay, and essentially using this exact example that I just gave, the solution would basically be to either do one of two things. One would be to take that $5,000 that was in that old Fidelity pre-tax account and see if you could move that $5,000 into your 401k plan at work, because strangely enough, any pre-tax money that you have in a 401k plan or a 403b or a 457 or other qualified retirement plan through work, okay, if you have that money and it's pre-tax, that's okay. That doesn't count against you for the pro rata rule. So if you have that $5,000 at Fidelity, you say, hey, move that money into my 401k plan, you can do that, and then that would allow you to then do the backdoor Roth IRA. The other option that you could consider in this example, because it's a relatively small amount of money, is you could just choose to do a Roth conversion on that and go ahead and pay taxes on that $5,000 and then move forward. But that is something that trips people up a lot of times, is they don't understand why the backdoor Roth IRA caused them to have to pay more taxes than they would have otherwise had to pay. And generally, it's that pro rata rule. Before I finish, I want to talk about one other really, really important thing, and that is the Form 8606 that needs to be filed on your tax return. This is critically important to making sure that things are done appropriately. So if you have no pre-tax money outstanding in any traditional IRA accounts, all your pre-tax money is in your 401k plan, and you put $6,500 into that traditional IRA, and then you convert that $6,500 to your Roth IRA, and you think everything is great, you're almost perfect, but there's one additional step, and that is, it's very, very important that that's documented properly on your tax return. And the way that that gets done is by making sure that you have what's called a Form 8606 included on that tax return. That form is what documents the fact that that $6,500 that you put into that traditional IRA, that was a non-deductible IRA contribution. Now, generally speaking, if you have an accountant that does your taxes for you, you should be able to just call them and make sure that they understand that you made a backdoor Roth IRA contribution, and odds are they'll make sure that that gets documented correctly. But I have seen sometimes before where even the best CPAs can get a little bit confused, because what will happen is when you do that contribution and you put that money in the IRA and convert it to the Roth IRA, the custodian is going to send you the same 1099-R, no matter whether that was a backdoor Roth IRA contribution that got converted to a Roth IRA, or whether it was used in that Fidelity example earlier and you just converted that pre-tax money. The custodian generally doesn't know whether that money in the IRA is pre-tax or after-tax. So they're going to send the same 1099-R, and if you don't tell your CPA or your accountant, or if you don't tell TurboTax very clearly, hey, that $6,500 was after-tax money, okay, and if that's not documented with a Form 8606, then the nightmare scenario can happen, which is that you end up paying taxes on that $6,500 twice. So that's the one scenario that we need to avoid at all costs. So again, if you have questions about this, please go check out our website. Please give us a call. If you go to our website, you can set up a free meeting on Calendly, and we'd be happy to visit with you and share more about this information and hopefully add value to your life.